Today, we're watching a sovereign citizen get completely shut down by both the judge and the prosecutor. Let's jump in.
All right. The court will call the case of the state of Michigan versus Eric Martin, case number 23S00425.
Rachel McDuffie for the people.
And standby counsel, Assistant Public Defender Jay Bellinger for Mr. Eric Martin, who appears via Zoom. Mr. Martin, can you please unmute and state your name for the record?
I'm a living man, capital E, lowercase R-I-C, of the capital M, lowercase A-R-T-I-N family. One of the people, sovereign, not a legal fiction corporate entity defendant with a name similar to mine. And here by special appearance to threaten duress, not willingly. Now, again, I object again to any attorney being appointed to me, representing me. But that's something I want to ask you, Washington. Now, you said you're appointing this public defender. Are you appointing it for me or are you appointing it for you? Or is it just standby?
I made my decision on that. It's standby counsel. If you have motions to make, you need to make those at this time.
Yeah, that's how I need. I'm seeking clarification. Are you appointing him against my will to have an attorney appointed for me?
Yes, it's not representing you. He's standby counsel. Please make your motions.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's I was going to make the motion to dismiss him if you're trying to appoint him for me, which, as I already said before, I will not be taking no attorneys. I'm one of the people. I'm not a defendant so as I said before. So I'm not going to be accepting any attorneys.
No one's saying you have to accept the attorney, but the judge is just doing her job, making sure your constitutional rights are protected.
He's going to fraudulently assume I'm a defendant, and which would then fraudulently give the presumption I'm under the jurisdiction of the court, which I'm not. As I said before.
Sir, you got 5 minutes to make your arguments, and you can spend them however you want to.
All right, yeah. Like I said before, I'm a living man. So, as the U.S. Supreme Court said in the cases I cited to you before, there's no jurisdiction over a living man. Corporations don't have jurisdiction over a living man without our consent. I don't consent. And it's also under, there's no consent under the Declaration of Independence of 1776. There's no jurisdiction over a human without their consent. So I never consented to jurisdiction, and I don't now, and I never will. Now I have some questions, though, for the prosecutor.
Sir, you don't get to ask questions. If you want to have a motion, you can make those.
Well, I object to that. That violates my right to a due process. It's relevant to a standing argument as to the prosecutor, whether they have standing or not. I think that's relevant to move forward or not, There's no standing, shouldn't move forward, but. So what's your ruling on that?
Your motion is denied as to jurisdiction and standing. Now, do you have any additional motions?
I object to that because you didn't allow me to answer the questions to see whether you had a legit basis to make that ruling.
Your objection is noted. Next.
Judge Washington is not messing around with this guy. She's got no time for his nonsense, and honestly, her hair looks way too good to be dealing with this kind of stupidity.
You say you're going to be questioning me about the some demands that made to dismiss the case anyway, right?
I'm sorry, what?
You said you're going to be addressing some demands for dismissal I made or sent to you already.
So
you're going to
first of all, a demand is not a proper format before a court and could be dismissed outright. However, I'm going to allow you to make your motions here. If you want to make an argument, you can do that, sir.
I object to that. That's not true. As I mentioned before, demands, when someone has the right to something, that's what the terminology demand is made. And that's the only reason why I make it. Motions, even though I know that's all you see in the court rules or whatever, traditional. But that's for a request. And persons are not, or humans are not supposed to be requesting constitutional rights. Me exercising my unalienable right, human rights and constitutional rights, I'm supposed to be making demands. That's how I've been, and that's backed up by law. And that's how I've been taught. And so that's what, so it's all right and proper. Motions are requests, And the defendant makes motions also, since I'm
So you're
disputing.
about to end of your 5 minutes.
Well, I objected 5 minutes being any time limit also. That violates.
I don't care about what you're objecting to. You can make it on the record. It is noted. Now, if you have something that you want me to address, you should do that before your time is up.
Putting a limit on my First Amendment right, that's unconstitutional.
Sir, please, if you want to have something to say other than the circular talk that you're doing, you should probably do that at this time.
I didn't finish. That's why I didn't mean to, none circular. I didn't finish the first time. All right, well, that's it. As to that,
Is the court ready for the people's response run?
I don't know if he's done with his motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to make.
Well, the police, I wanted to question the police officer who wrote the ticket. I have a relevant question to him as to self-incrimination, move to dismiss the case based on that because he made me give, my ID.
Wait, I thought you sovereign folks didn't believe the police had any jurisdiction over you. So if he doesn't have any more authority than someone like me, then how could he possibly force you to hand over your ID under threat, any more than I could?
But my memory was it's a little, I don't really remember exactly what was said. That's why I kind of need to question him to refresh the memory. But I do remember in general, though, he kind of, I'm required to give my ID if I remember right, and I might have been arrested if I didn't give my ID, which was under threat and duress. And even if he didn't say that, which I don't remember, which, like I said, I need to have his body cam and all that. I want that. I want to be able to review that now, and also for the trial, if this goes to trial, I want the video present as part of my due process right for the evidence, which is my due process right, like I'm saying. And because, like I said, it violates my self-incrimination, all right, that I'm being made to give my supposed name, government name, anyways, which ain't really my name, but a government name has been given. Violates self-incrimination, and then it's used against me to prosecute. So it violates self-incrimination. Yeah. Move to dismiss based on that too. And like I said, if you need more evidence as to, like I said, his questions, then he needs to answer my question. I was about to send out interrogatories to him. I'm about to do it here soon. If you find that's necessary, unless you find it ain't necessary, I'm gonna send it out soon. So, another thing. Now, Mrs. Washington, I just filed a federal civil lawsuit on you, for violating my constitutional rights during this case. So you may want to consider recusing yourself. I know you probably didn't get a receipt yet because I just sent it out like 2 days ago. So the court will be getting it, if they didn't get it already, be getting it this week. And yeah, so point that out.
As to your motion to recuse, that is denied.
Based on what reasons?
Because you're completely clueless, that's why. You didn't present any valid reason for the judge to recuse herself. Just like with a public defender, you can ask for a new one, but that doesn't mean you'll actually get it.
Conflict of interest is my reason. That's why I didn't mention that, but I thought you might kind of already figure that. But conflict of interest due to the lawsuit being filed, that's the grounds of my demand for dismissal.
Okay.
And I would like to, Ms. Duffy, as the prosecutor, I'd like to notify you, of the crimes being committed against me by the police officer, in this case, writing the tickets, and I request you prosecute them for this, because I'm the crime victim here in reality. Because I was traveling by right, which the U.S. Supreme Court said we have, as long as you're not carrying passengers probably for profit, you're not technically driving a motor vehicle. Therefore, all these charges are baseless. There's no case here. So in reality, I was harassed, retaliated against for exercising my right to travel on my motorcycle, and then with these charges. Okay, so because they had no evidence that I was carrying passenger property for profit, which is what's required. That's the definition of a motor vehicle under 18 USC section 31 subsection 6 and 10. That's when a motor vehicle is a motor vehicle. In contrast to the state law, I know what the state law says. The state law just says, oh, if something's mechanically drawn, it's a motor vehicle. Well, the state statute is in violation of this federal statute. Therefore, it's unconstitutional. Okay, and therefore, the federal statute definition of motor vehicle applies here. It overrides the state statute under Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution. Laws of the United States is supreme over state law. So therefore, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was traveling by right on my motorcycle, as I have a right to do, without a license, without registration, without insurance.
Well, no need to hold a trial for those 3 charges. He just admitted guilt right on the record.